After Carlos Sainz's surprising victory in Singapore, Formula One is ready to race in Japan this week. Every Formula One fan is curious about this race, as they want to know whether Red Bull's dominance throughout the 2023 season is finally over. However, the track conditions are somewhat different from what we saw in Singapore, and we can expect a considerable change in the performance of each challenger in Japan. Anyhow, we can see a very close fight between the teams for the top 10 positions, and the race in Suzuka will surely be a more interesting one. There are a lot of things that you should know before the race at Suzuka, and this is our pre-race review about the Japanese Grand Prix. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. The Japanese Grand Prix was initially held in 1976 at the Fuji Speedway, but it disappeared from the F1 calendar at the end of the 1977 season after a 2-season-long brief stint. Then it returned to the Formula One calendar after a 10-year break in 1987. But this time, race organizers used the Suzuka Circuit to hold the Japanese Grand Prix, which was considered as one of the most challenging Formula One circuits. But the Japanese GP was brought back to the newly remodeled Fuji Speedway in 2007. After a 2-seasons-long short absence, Suzuka was reintroduced to the Formula One calendar in 2009, and Japan became the only Asian nation to hold a Formula One race until the Malaysian GP joined the calendar in 1999. Historically, the Japanese Grand Prix was held as the last race of the season, and the fate of many F1 titles were decided at this iconic Suzuka circuit. Currently, it is no longer the last race of the season, but it became the race that crowned Verstappen as the world champion last season as well. Overall, 13 drivers' championships have been crowned at Suzuka out of 36 seasons that it was used for racing. The Suzuka International Racing Course is 5.087 kilometers long and composed of 18 challenging corners which evaluate the different skill sets of Formula One drivers. The total race distance is 307.471 kilometers long, and drivers have to go 53 times around the track to cover that distance. Currently, the lap record is held by the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton by recording a lap time of 1 minute and 30.983 seconds. Despite its challenging nature, every F1 driver loves to race at this high-speed racing arena. With the changes that were experienced at Singapore, we can hope for a better fight on Red Bull from teams like Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes. The pace showed by the SF23 at Monza and Singapore is a clear threat to Red Bull's dominance at the top, as both the pole positions were clinched by Carlos Sainz after a close fight with RB19s. But the Milton Keynes-based squad will surely come up with an attractive solution to regain the fame that it lost in Singapore. Despite all these bad things happening around the Red Bull team, Verstappen is maintaining a healthy lead in the Drivers' Championship standings. Perez is also safer to a considerable extent, but Red Bull must come back to their usual form again without spending more time, as Hamilton is only 43 points behind Checo. McLaren also showed a considerable improvement in Singapore, clinching second place in the final standings by Norris. Mercedes also appeared to solve their problems, and the W14 can now deliver the performance needed to keep their drivers inside the top 5 finish. After showing a huge improvement at Monza, Aston Martin dropped back to the midfield at Singapore. Now they are far away from what they wanted to achieve as the second fastest team on the grid at the start of the 2023 season. Alonso is the only consistent performer of the team, and he independently contributes for their constructors' standings as well. With the inconsistency of the AMR23, Alonso recently lost his third position in the drivers' standings to Hamilton. Williams also experienced some kind of decline at Singapore, and they also need a strong upgrade ahead of the race in Suzuka. When considering the current constructors' standings, Red Bull is leading it with a gap of 308 points. If the Verstappen-Perez duo can improve it up to 309 points at the end of the race in Suzuka, Red Bull will surely clinch the constructors' title at the end of the Japanese Grand Prix. There is a very close battle between Mercedes and Ferrari for the second position as well. After the race in Singapore, the Leclerc-Sainz duo was able to reduce their gap with the Brackley-based squad down to 24 points. With the current form of the SF23 challengers, Ferrari drivers will be able to close that gap within the next few races to become the runners-up. Formula One tyre supplier Pirelli predicts 2 stoppers as the optimum strategy that can be used on this iconic race circuit to record a victory. Drivers can start on softs to gain an advantage at the start and should manage those tyres till the first pit stop window between lap 15 and 21. Then they can switch to mediums for a relatively long run till the last pit stop window arrives between lap 31 and 38. Soft is the best choice for the last stint, as every driver needs to complete some quick laps at the latter part of the race. Other than that, drivers who enjoy a moderate success in qualifying can use soft, hard, soft, or soft, medium, medium alternatives, considering the performances of the challengers and the tyre degradation rates. The drivers who start from the back of the grid could also use a soft, hard, one-stop strategy, which reduces the pit lane delay. In that case, the pit stop must be done in between lap 18 and 25 for a long run on hards. According to the current weather reports from Suzuka, the race will be held mostly under sunny and warm environmental conditions, despite a slight possibility for rain on Friday. But in the remaining 2 days, the weather will stay dry, creating the necessary conditions to deliver a thrilling race show. A maximum temperature of 28 degrees is expected on the race day, under bright and sunny conditions. We are not in a position to predict what is going to happen at Suzuka, as there is a close battle between teams. Everyone is curious to know what is going to happen to the Red Bull team, as they experienced a heavy decline in Singapore. What do you think about the current form of the Red Bull Challenger? Will they be able to recover? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula One news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.